This Good Morning Northwest Morning Sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is 6:53. Time to get you ready to take on your Monday in the morning sprint.
Allison Martinez is live, kicking off the start of our Money Makeover Week with retirement planning tips.
The Supreme Court is set to hear two cases today that could determine the future of social media. Sydney Charles is breaking down those details.
Mark has your forecast to help you prepare for a windy day ahead with some rain showers expected.
But first, we begin with breaking news from the Middle East this morning. Today, Palestinian Authority Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh and his government have submitted their resignations. The resignation comes as the Palestinian Authority comes under intense pressure from the U.S. to reform and improve its governance in the Israeli-occupied West Bank.
President Biden wants the House to pass a Senate bill that would provide $60 billion for Ukraine. Without it, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky argues millions of people will be killed. House Speaker Mike Johnson is under pressure to block the vote on Ukraine aid, but the bill appears to have enough bipartisan support to pass.
In just 2 days, Idaho will execute its first inmate in more than a decade. 73-year-old Thomas Creech is scheduled to die Wednesday morning. Creech is one of Idaho's most notorious criminals, convicted of 5 murders across 3 different states. He has spent more than half of his life on death row and will die via lethal injection. He will be Idaho's first execution since 2012, and we'll have a crew down in Boise to bring you the latest updates live Wednesday morning right here on Good Morning Northwest.
Well, as you wake up and head out in our first alert weather, you're going to see some sunshine. Now, we're going to have a sunny condition. We've had a few scattered snow showers really now into Montana on I-90 if you're crossing over. Lookout Pass has some fresh snow on it. We're freezing right now, but we do have the winds making it feel like it's 19 degrees. Our forecast today has it climbing up to 38 with increased cloud cover and some afternoon snow flurries.
New on Good Morning Northwest, several areas in North Idaho and eastern Montana are under a high avalanche warning this morning. That is according to the Idaho Panhandle Avalanche Center. Take a look at this map. Areas affected include the Selkirk and Cabinet Mountains, Kootenai and St. Regis, and Silver Valley. Travel in any of these areas is not advised. The warning expires just before 6 this evening.
The increase of opioid overdoses and deaths on the streets of Spokane is threatening our community. There are many different illicit drugs available, and if combined, they can prove lethal. Under a statewide program, the local organization Compassionate Addiction Treatment has been testing small drug samples and collecting the data to learn what drugs are on our streets. Bobby Lee is managing that program, and 6 years ago, she says that she was out on the streets herself, struggling with addiction. She says that she understands how dangerous these drugs are and wants to save lives. For more information on this program, you can find this story on KXLY.com.
The U.S. Supreme Court is set to make a decision about what Americans can see on social media. The justices will hear oral arguments today about whether 2 laws are constitutional, one from Florida, the other one from Texas. The Florida law bans tech companies from suspending the accounts of political candidates. The Texas law makes it illegal for tech companies to remove political content based on someone's viewpoint, even if it's hate speech. Supporters of these laws say social media platforms have been censoring users, especially those with conservative or religious views. But tech companies argue they have a right under the First Amendment to set their own standards in order to prevent misinformation.
This morning, we've been live at STCU breaking down all things retirement planning. Now, our key takeaway, timing and consistency. It's never too early to start saving, and no amount is too little. For all of our savings for retirement tips, you can go to our website, KXLY.com. We're breaking down all our biggest takeaways from the morning, and watch out for Money Matters Week up ahead as we share tips for you and your entire family. More information on that on KXLY.com.
This upcoming weekend, hundreds of talented high school track and field athletes will compete at the podium. Spokane Sports will host the STCU West Coast Championship for the 2nd year. 600 athletes from across the West Coast will participate in this last indoor track and field meet for the season. This will conclude the largest season Spokane has hosted in the 3 years since the podium opened.
This past weekend at People's Park in Spokane, a group of volunteers gathered to pick up some trash. From tires to fast food wrappers, volunteers gathered multiple bags full. The group's founder encourages everyone to do the same, and you can find information about how you can join this group on our website, KXLY.com.
Coming up next on Good Morning America, the promise and peril of artificial intelligence. This morning, ABC News is beginning a week-long look at the fast-changing technology, starting with a look at which jobs could be in danger because of AI. We'll have a final check of weather with Mark right after this break.